everyone.
Oh,
This is ACDC, Araceli and Colette. The dynamic changed. So my name is Araceli, and I'm a transition wealth advisor. And I love helping single professional women to develop as non-stressful financial plans so they can get ahead. So, and as you know, I'm also a real estate investor, and that's why I'm here with my partner, Colette. Colette, can you introduce yourself?
hi everybody. Well, it's not really morning. I was going to say good morning. That's ridiculous. It's wherever you are. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever.
Mhm.
My name is Colette Rava. I am a real estate broker in the GTA. I love helping buyers and sellers find their dream home or sell it, and also investors and know what you're getting into before you even make an offer. So that's what exactly what Araceli was saying. Her and I really love to have this show and to talk to all of you because we love giving tips and we love giving ideas and little things that we hear here and there to make the home buying, home selling, investing a little more easier for all of you out there. So we've done it ourselves. We don't just walk the walk the talk, we walk the walk. I get that wrong every time. It's
It's
crazy. So
okay. It's kind of like a riddle, right?
yeah, well, we're walking and talking at the same time, and that's hard. It's kind of like that, rubbing your tummy and
Yeah, no, one of those things. But
right.
today we have 6 tips before you sell your home. If you know that you're selling, just listen to this. This is something that Colette put together. This is fantastic tips and very easy. Okay.
Yeah, it's really easy. So I'm going to share my screen with you, and this is across the board. This is something that we all forget, like, or we all think, oh, this doesn't apply to me because this is my. Can you see the? Can you see
Mm-hmm.
my screen? So this is something that people think, oh, it's not. I'm not in the right area, or this is different. My demographic is different. So we're basically talking about. I want to say the GTA, but even bigger, like we can really say all of North America. It might be a little bit different if you're like in Europe, but honestly, these are very simple things that across the board everybody should be able to do. So we want to keep it, and we wanted to keep it a little fun today. So so let's get started, shall we?
Yeah.
So the first thing is declutter. So obviously we don't want to, you want to do this for a few reasons. Number one, it always shows better because people don't have to step over your stuff. Obviously, this example is a little bit extreme because there's laundry out and stuff like that. So we know, like, we're not talking about that. We're talking about more like really heavy duty getting rid of your stuff. So I really like to tell people pre-pack. So I know we keep hearing about, with during COVID, we keep hearing things that are non-essential. So in your home, I want to use that as well to say pack your non-essentials. So
Yeah.
all the books you don't use on a daily basis, all the clothes that are not in season, all of the extra stuff you have to pack anyway. This is the perfect time to do it now when you're not stressed out and you don't have a timeline of like, oh, we sold the house, we need to pack everything right now.
Mm-hmm.
You want to do a pre-pack. I like to say pre-pack. You get all that stuff out of the way. You put it in very nice boxes. You label everything and you put it in either your basement or your storage space or garage, anywhere you have. Even ship it off to somebody else.
Yeah. So this also goes for pieces of furniture that you don't use that much or that you're using temporarily.
Or if it's too much.
Uh, and it makes the room crowded. So if you can try to get rid of them or just pack them away, right? Maybe you
Right,
can
exactly.
rent an office, like I mean, a spot where you
Right,
can put all of those extra things there if you have
right.
too much.
Yeah, and the other thing too, like we all have, is there's lots of people that don't have the storage space, but there are more people than not that do have a storage
Yeah.
space. And don't feel like it's bad to show people, hey, look, we're packing. So if you keep it contained and you keep it in a very nice and orderly fashion. So I always like my best packing tips are bankers boxes or any
Yep.
boxes that are the same size that you can write on, that you can label, either reuse or you can recycle. So that's my favorite thing. Also, the one thing I tell everybody to pack their clothes and their linens in those paper. lawn bags, you know, the
Yeah,
lawn straps and the green.
I loved that tip, and actually, I used the last time that I
Good.
moved, and
Yeah.
it worked perfectly. So thank you for
Yeah, because you can write on them too, and you can take them close and you can reuse them. But the best thing is it's not a garbage bag. A lot of people want to use garbage bags to pack their clothes, and then I've heard this story multiple times.
and they get thrown out.
They get thrown out. Yeah. So don't use garbage bags when you're packing, and it's just your own self-respect. Like your stuff is not garbage. Don't put it in a garbage bag. Yeah. So the other thing too is it's kind of a kind of a unwritten, unspoken thing about clutter because people, when buyers look through a house and they see the clutter, they get worried that you're not going to take all that with you. So that kind of creates this kind of thing in their head, like, oh my gosh, like, is they're not going to get out on time? They're not going to take all their stuff.
Mhm.
How are we going to manage that? Like, that's something you just don't want.
Yeah, plus it is more difficult for them to visualize how their own stuff will fit in there. It looks like
Right on.
house makes smaller. And I said, oh, my couch might not fit in here because you have so many things in there, right?
Right, right, exactly. They are not buying your stuff, they are buying the space. So let them see the floor, let them see the walls, let them see everything, the windows, everything. Like, take away the heavy drapery too. We'll get into that. So don't forget to declutter outside too. So I have a lot, like personally speaking, I plant a lot of stuff every season and then I keep the little pots and things like that accumulate. There's a lot of junk. There's some wood at the side of the house.
Mm-hmm.
Like you got to think about all that stuff. Just get rid of all of the garbage. Just start doing it now before you even list. Okay? Because you need time. You need time to do all that. So repair. So the one thing that I have a pet peeve about this, and I'll show you a picture later. I don't have a before and after, but the one easiest thing to upgrade your house is a doorknob. All your doorknobs just go, and sometimes like the big box stores, they sell them in packages of 10. They're inexpensive. Just upgrade your hardware. It makes the biggest difference because like the doorknobs get loose, those
Yeah.
screws get loose and they get dirty and they get dated. So really upgrade. It's not that big of an expense. It will make the buyers think, oh my gosh, okay, this is something I just don't have to deal with. I'm buying a house that somebody cares about.
Yeah, it's about the details, right? Like people think, oh, they took the time to do all of these. So then they feel that they are getting a better house, right?
They're getting value. That's the thing. It's the value that those small things make a big difference in the end. So the other thing too is repair all damages like broken tile. It's a huge pain in the butt to replace one tile in a floor, let's say. But you know what? It makes it's just that thing where buyers come in and they see all those little issues and they get a bad taste in their mouth. They don't want to make an offer even. So you want to eliminate all that small stuff. Also repair broken screens. I see it all the time. Window screens, sliding door screens,
Yep.
broken. It's the easiest thing. I think the kit is like $20 or $30. You could do it yourself. It's really not that difficult. You can hire a handyman to do it if you're not handy. Things like backsplashes. Oh my gosh. Like backsplashes can be painted too. If it's really in good
Yep.
condition and it's nice, easy. And you take out the datedness. The datedness, is that even a word? To upgrade, let's say.
Yeah, and remember, paint is the cheapest and the easiest way to do something to upgrade it right away. You can brighten the room if you have a dark backsplash or dated, like you
Right.
said. So it'll make a big difference.
And how many old light fixtures have you seen?
Ooh, many.
Oh, people, it's the easiest thing to swap out. I can do. You take out, make sure your breaker is closed, is off. Easiest thing to do. Now, if you really have a lot of money, and I want to say kitchen and bathroom, like your starting point for Renault is let's say $10,000. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I need to drink more.
Drink.
So
Give me
kitchen and
something
bath.
stronger than water.
What do you look like? What do you look for when you're buying a house?
Well, when I buy a house, is that I am a very detailed person. So the first thing that pops out is like if the doors are dirty, if the windows are dirty, I can, even though I'm not going to take on the drapes or anything like that, but it's just the care that people have taken over the house. Like it's just, it seems that I'm not getting as much value if the house is dirty.
Right. You want a house that's been loved, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna get to that.
Yeah.
So kitchens and bath. If you do have the, if you do have the money to upgrade, absolutely do that. So renos. This is what This is when we're talking not about expensive things. We're talking about value things. So the difference between these two, and I just chose this picture. Yeah. No real details about it, but look at how different it feels. It feels light. It feels bright. It feels modern.
Very, very bright. I like it.
Right. And the detail of like how they, I mean, this is very expensive too. Like I'm not suggesting this, but the height of the cabinets, they've doubled their space pretty much. So they've upgraded their stove, but they didn't really move the stove. So all the electrical, if it stays in the same place, all the plumbing stays in the same place, you're golden. It's actually not, I mean, obviously a kitchen like this is expensive, but if you have like a standard general, size kitchen and you don't go overboard, then a reno, when you keep the plumbing and the electrical in the same places, it's not that terribly expensive.
Yeah, that saves a lot of money on a reno because basically things that you don't see, like the plumbing and the electrical, is what will cost you the most to move.
Right.
So if you can do that, even sometimes just replacing the actual stove would make it so much different, right? Even though you leave it in the same place, even with the same cabinets, right? Doing a backsplash.
So. Yeah, you know what? That's one thing I actually didn't add on our list, but we could have added replacing appliances, because appliances do, you know what? This is the funny thing. It depends on where the house is and the quality of house.
Mm-hmm.
That will make a difference when you like you might not have to change your appliances all the time. It depends on the value of the house. So if you're like over $1 million, then yes, get new appliances. You almost have to think like, two things, and this is something that's very important, and I should have written it down, but I didn't. Two things. Number one, when people are looking at your house online, pictures are the most important thing. If they see a picture, there's a lot of times my buyers won't even go out to go see a house because it's too much work for them. So right there, they think, oh, I have to do renovations. We're not going to go see the house. So that's number one. Number two is like, you really have to think like a buyer when you're doing all these renos. Is it valuable for you to replace this whole kitchen? No, maybe not. I'm sure it seems to me it's a beautiful kitchen, for example, because we just have that picture up. But really, you have to ask yourself, is it something that I really need to do? So we're going to get to that. The other thing too is staging is not a reno, right? Staging is furniture and replacing your old worn out sofa with a brand new modern sofa. People are not like, oh my God, who lives here? And we forget because we get used to our stuff, right?
That's right.
So easy fixes that you can do, anybody can do. Clean light fixtures. This is the funniest thing. If you look right now at your light fixture, I will I almost guarantee 9 times out of 10 there are bugs in there. If you have one of those ones where you have a glass base or something.
Yeah.
Just happens in Canada, in Ontario. So clean the light fixtures, replace the bulbs to the highest wattage that your light fixture can take. That does make a big difference. And swap out old light switches. So this is a picture of a Decora light. It's called a Decora light switch, not the little tab ones. Makes a huge difference too. Each one is like, I don't know, $3. How much are those light switches?
Yeah, and then it just looks so much brighter.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it, but it's those details, right?
Right. But those light fixtures, like the light switches, they make a huge difference. And that's my pet peeve when I see those old lights. And the stupid thing about light switches is people are lazy and they paint over them all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And they get dirty and grungy. And I think, oh my goodness, just swap it out. So, so that's the one thing. The other easy fix is to paint. We already talked about paint. Don't even think about color. I want I tell my buyers white, no gray, no yellow, no pink, don't get fancy, white, because number one, people like white. It looks bright and clean. And sorry, number one, it looks bright and clean. Number two, it's a base. If they want to pick a color, it's a perfect base. You're neutralizing the space.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, the other small things you can do for yourself, and this is something that you can take with you too. When you have your five senses when you're walking through a house. So when you feel underpad under an area rug, it just feels richer. It feels more cozy. So you should always get an underpad anyway for yourself, and you take it with you to your next house. It is such a thing that I've had even like repair people or service people come in and go, oh, that's a nice carpet, like right at the front door, and they go, it feels so good. It's like it's an underpad. It's really not a big deal, but it's that cushion that people just love, and it makes them feel good. So that's the thing too. Thinking as a buyer, you want to have all your five senses. Your house should smell good too. So that's it. And then make sure if you can paint the trim, if you can refresh the trim, even your doors. Sometimes we forget to paint our doors. Very important. My favorite. Clean, clean, clean. And it's not just the inside, it's also the outside. So
it's mine too, yeah.
Yeah. And the one thing I can say about weed gardens, actually, I should add this to the slide. Add mulch to your gardens. You can rip out everything out of your garden if you want to take your roses and things with you, but mulch everything. It makes the house look amazing. You can have the crappiest yard, but you mulch your gardens.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
I'm actually doing that next week to my front. Yes.
I just did it yesterday. That's why I'm like mulch, mulch. Like I have mulch on my head.
Yeah.
And just, add a couple colorful flowers. Don't go overboard though. I have a comma there. I shouldn't add something else, but I was rushing.
Yeah, that's okay. It's good.
Okay. And most importantly, don't overspend. I don't want you to use your own taste as a guideline, because if you like really big, bulky furniture, let's say, and dark, cabinets and stuff, don't use your taste, because that's not what most people want. The best guide to doing that is to lighten, brighten, and neutralize. So take out all of your family portraits, take out all your heavy furniture, bulky furniture, old furniture. Also, don't buy the latest techie gadgets, even though you think, oh, somebody's going to love this. People actually don't want to pay for that, because technology changes so quickly that even if you bought it, let's say you bought a sound system a couple of years ago, it might be obsolete now. It might be worth nothing. So to you, because you spent so much money on it, you think it's valuable, just don't do it. And some people are not techie. They don't like techie stuff.
Yeah. Or some people actually, they might have something better than what you have. Believe it or not, and they just say, don't want this, right?
I don't want it, right? It's not valuable to me. So and if you say, I want to take this with me, do it before. So if you have all these techie gadgets and you want to take them, like the light switches with Google or with Alexa, take all those out, take them to your new home with you. Just put in regular, let the new owner decide what they want to do. Unless we're talking about like a really high-end home and they have all that stuff already figured out. This is not what we're talking about. We're talking about you haven't done it yet. Don't add techie gadgets to think that you're going to get a higher price point. It's not valuable. Some people walk through the house and they don't even know what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
So don't do it. Also, don't buy fancy drapery that you won't take with you, because sometimes stagers will say, we'll put drapery up, but you have to make sure that it's not included in the sale. So things like that, it gets tricky. Just keep it light and bright. You can get stuff off of Amazon. You can get things from, any online stuff. Make sure your length is correct. And if they want it, you can sell it with the house. Or
if you can rent them, it might be even easier if you're doing a staging, if you're not really the type of decorating person, right? That you don't know what to do, then I think that would be a better value for you to get somebody to help you with that.
Yes. So the only thing with drapery is one of those funny things where some people want to write it into the offer. And if it's a rental by the staging company, you have to make sure when you write in
Yeah.
that it's not written in. You take it out. You take it out. Check your competition too. This is always a very good thing that I do with my buyers. I say, hey, listen, this is the price point of things that are going in your area. Let's go walk around and we'll go and see those. Sometimes we'll even go see those places if it's not clear online. And we'll go see what kind of countertops they have, what kind of light fixtures they have. And these are and things move so fast in the GTA right now. We don't have time to do stuff like that. But in a regular market, in a in a buyer's market or a neutral market, this is something that we do because you really want to be honest about what you're selling. And if your house looks better than those ones that are on sale at the same time,
Of course.
you have nothing to worry about.
Yeah. And the thing is, if you price it correctly, then you're going to get the right, you're going to sell it quick.
Right.
Instead of trying to, let's say, oh, my house is worth this much, but it doesn't look as good as the other one that sold for that amount of money. So you're not going to get, people are going to walk through and say, no, we don't want it, right?
Right.
Like it's just not the right price.
Well,
So
and the last one is one of my pet peeves too, where somebody says, oh, on the listing, it's like granite countertops. Oh, it's awesome. And then you go and see the house and all the cabinets are like 100 years old, or not even 100 would be nice. Let's say they're 30 years old and they're worn out and they're grungy. And then somebody says, oh, I just added granite to the kitchen. Please don't do that. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Do the whole thing. If you're going to replace your kitchen, do the whole thing right. And you know what, granite, if you have a beautiful kitchen, you don't even need granite. You can do laminate if it's a good quality laminate.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too. Outside, don't go crazy. Don't go and buy expensive landscaping materials. Don't overdo it with plants. Most people want very minimal garden work, so don't go crazy and think, oh, look, it's fantastic, it's beautiful. It's even if you do it to sell your house and you couldn't stand the work involved,
Yeah.
don't do it.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't look like it, but gardening, it's quite a lot of time that you spend outside.
Yeah.
Because I just got this new house, I started to clean up, and it's just like I spent hours, and I'm going like, this is a little small patch of
I know.
grass,
I know.
and I spend hours doing cleanup, and
Yeah.
it doesn't look like it, but it's if you have a large garden, it's a lot of work, especially if you have lots of little plants, right? I
Right.
try to do the same thing, very minimum. Try to do some perennials so they can come back every year. Just clean it up. It depending on when you're selling the season,
Well,
right? To make it
and
look
you know
good.
what? Honestly, I just had a sale. I just helped my buyers buy a property, and I had to write the listing agent to say, hey, can you ask your sellers what this is and what this is and what, because they're just coming up in the garden and you're not. I mean, I'm a gardener. I love gardening, and I still don't know everything. I don't know
Mhm.
what, when I look at something, I go, okay, is that like a crabapple tree, or is that like a flowering something else? I know 99% of the time what things are, but sometimes I'm just like, like trees. I don't know. Like,
Yeah, you're much better than I am. I only know a few
yeah,
plants
but
that I can recognize.
right. But then there's still the whole thing of like care and how do you do it? So if there's somebody who's really a gardener and they really love to do gardening, then they'll figure it out over time. But if you're buying something and you're inheriting their garden and you're not quite sure of how to take care of something, then
Yeah.
you really want to ask, maybe there's special fertilizers. So just if you're going to do something thinking you're going to sell faster, don't do anything crazy. A couple little nice pots with color at the front door. That's all you need. That's all you need. Unless you're selling, Buckingham Palace, then we'll talk.
I won't be selling that one this year.
No, I don't think I'll be. No, I won't get that listing. But anyway, so to recap, so we want to keep it nice and simple for you. So declutter, huge. Cleaning is huge. Repairs and upgrades, they don't have to be overwhelming. You can do it as you go before you list your house. I would give you to me, I say between 6 and 3 months, because you need a timeline to get the stuff done.
Mhm.
Pre-pack, you want to pack all your stuff, Declutter as much as you can right away. That's your first thing. Once you've decluttered, then you can assess the repairs and renos. Then you can assess your easy fixes, and then you clean. Don't do cleaning and then have the renos done or have
No,
make those changes, because you're going to have to clean again. So cleaning should be right before you list it.
Yeah.
So that's why it's the last thing. And most importantly, don't overspend.
That's correct. Remember, when you're doing all of these, this is a perfect time for you to reassess your finances. Because if you're going to be upgrading, or you're going to be downgrading, or you're going to move lateral, this is the perfect time just to do exactly the same, kind of the same steps, right? So declutter your finances. Are we going to be paying more a month than now we pay, or less? And what are we going to do with the excess, if there's any excess, and so on? This is a perfect time to kind of rearrange the transition. So what it's going to have, how's it going to look like financially? So.
Right. And that's why we say the most important thing is to talk to us first. Talk to Araceli first because of your finances, and if you can, and what you can afford before you sell your property. So these are the things that if you don't have a lot of money, and then you talk to me to say, okay, well, what do buyers really want, and what do I really need to change, and what can I just get away with and not
exactly.
do? So that's why Araceli and I like to talk, because we're like a tag team.
Yeah. It's important. And you know what? Everything touches money. So whether you're upgrading or downgrading, there is going to be a change in your finances. You may have more money at the end of the month, or you might have less money. But in any case, you got to adapt, because there's certain things that are going to suffer. Right. If you are going to
be background. What color is it?
White. Yeah,
I should have told you to get a white background for yourself, but this is a whole different story. Yeah. But anyway, like, this is something that we love to do, and we want to give you the right advice, because it's nothing personal. When you sell your house, if somebody says, hey, you know what, you got to get rid of the heavy furniture, it's not an attack on your personal taste. It's to have the most eyes on your property, to get the most buyers, to get the best price. Right?
Absolutely. So that is exactly what you want to depersonalize your own home, because now you're going to have 20, 30, 50 people looking at it, and you have to appeal to all of them. And the best way to do it is neutral.
You know what? You have hundreds of people looking online. That's the thing. Like, if you think of how, like, let's say I have a store and I have a storefront. If I had hundreds of people looking at my storefront every day, I would be overjoyed. But if I have hundreds of people looking at my house online, you should be overjoyed. This is amazing. So that's why the pictures have to be good. Your what you are showing the world has to be good. So even before anybody makes an appointment, those little things, you can see them in photos. You can see, see my background, look at these knobs. Sorry. Look at how the knobs are crooked. And this is a professional photograph. So small things like that make it, maybe not a huge difference when you go to sell your house, but it makes a difference when people are looking online about the details of your house. So doorknobs, light fixtures, make it light and bright, all those things, people will see it even before they step into your house.
Yeah. So those little details, from your finances to the little doorknob, that's what it's important to
right. I'm wearing my license to sell shirt.
Yeah, I know. I like it.
Yes. But anyway, like, that's the thing. So finance is so important. Know why you're selling. Talk to Araceli to figure out how much you can spend on these renos or improvements before you sell, to get the best price for your house.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thank you, Colette, for putting this together. I hope that brings you value. If there's anything specific on all of these items that you want to know more about, please let us know. I'll be happy to talk to you. If you don't know how you're going to be financially after, please let me know. We'll work something out. And if you want to know more about what to do with your house, talk to Colette. She's fantastic. So remember, we always offer a 30-minute free consultation, either one of us, to talk to you about what you want to do, whether it's in your finances, or maybe you want to sell your house or buy an investment property. So let us know. We're here to help. And we will see you next week with another episode. Thank you, Colette. We'll see ya.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Bye.